How's that? Is that too loud? Oh dear me, eh? We'll have to trim that out on YouTube. Let me start again. What's happening, Crypto fam? Happy. Good Friday. Hope you're well. Hope you're happy. Yeah, welcome, Paul, James, Colby, Paul. Let me know that there's definitely sound now. The sound's coming through. It should be coming through. No, we're a bit delayed. But yeah, recently, yeah, it's on now, buzzing. Recently, it's boiling in my room. I've even got a fan on, so if I'm wiping my head and that, and I decide to take my top off and that, it's because I'm red hot. But yeah, recently people have been talking about, this has come out, the US real-time payments, RTP brings visibility and availability. We've had the Bank of England talk about CBDC's opportunities, challenges and designs, possibly tapping into DLT, and is it going to be DLT? Currently still in the process, but they've been talking about it for years. Regardless of what they do, they know they are eventually tapping into a global RTGS system. They just know they do. It's been set in stone. So now we've got a bit of volume, guys. We'll get into it, right? So, instant payments from customers, how it works. Funds are transferred in 15 seconds. So, instant payments to employees. Funds available, transfer successful. Instant payment to suppliers. Now, calling it instant payments and then saying they're transferred within 15 seconds. Should be like near real time, really, shouldn't it? But you get the gist of it. The benefits of funds are transferred within 15 seconds. The payments are final. This is the interesting one. Flexible messaging using ISO 20022. The current migration is to that system, isn't it? That messaging system. So the current or the old Swift system, that is improving it for bidirectional messaging, speeding it up. Faster, easier. 24/7, 365 availability. That's what this tech mainly brings most. And it's like the other week when I was like, Ripple don't sleep. RippleNet don't sleep. Ways to use immediate supplier payments, emergency disbursements, payroll. So this is basically the podcast there. I threw on the channel just in case no one was able to find this. The link's also in this description. Same with the Bank of England podcast. So again, let's pull it back. It doesn't matter what these do. Doesn't matter how this runs. Doesn't matter if it's Ripple partner, Ripple involved. That's what people have been saying. But is Ripple involved? It's like, well, why is that the only question people really ask? It's like this. Galgatron tweet, Ripple is not part of the Fed RTGS. It's like, well, it's the Fed's RTGS, so what people expect? It's their RTGS. Doesn't mean they're not opening up the back end of it. It's like, do people understand that a lot of their ledger is still going to be private blockchain? It's going to be a permission private blockchain. It's more about the back end APIs creating the web of all the ledgers. Doesn't matter who does what. This kind of mentality is beyond me. Do people think like that Fed now is going to run the whole world and China's going to jump on that and everyone else is going to jump on it? What do people think is going to happen? What do people think is going to happen to the Triffin's dilemma and the dilemmas currently facing global liquidity, the debt problems? It's dodging the solution when it's right there in our faces. And go to some people's comments and just, I don't really like doing this proper going over other people's tweets, but it kind of needs to be done at times. If I buy from your company, will I take possession of my gold? Depends what, I don't sell gold, bruh, but know what you mean. There'll be different, in the future, you're going to be able to choose a custodial to hold your gold just like you can now. Or you're going to be able to hold it in your home just like you can now. The difference is the tracking of the value from it and the contract that certifies the ownership being on a blockchain. Do you know what I mean? Don't ask me how the QR stamp gold in the future, but that's the difference with the Internet of Value. It's It's the transparency of tracking and the immutability of the contracts. And unless there's a consensus of agreement of when that's moved on, i.e. sold or transferred for another asset, then the ownership remains solid within the network. So you can see people like, wow, after so much time, not using Ripple. It's like, there's people even speculating Ripple could become a bank or buy a bank. Without even, you don't need to think about any of that. It's the fact of the matter is, everyone's going to create their own RTGS. They've already got it. UK, I've said it many times, the UK's got an epic RTGS system, but everyone just concentrates on who's the partners and where they're going to say they've officially done this and they've officially done that and these that. It's like, it's not Hyperledger. Fed now ain't Hyperledger. They're not going to come out as a whole big consortium of loads of partners all working on open source ledger. It's not. That's not what the Fed now going to do. It's going to be a private permission network, and only people with access or with permissioned access are going to gain permissioned access through the APIs, i.e. commercial banks and trusted payment institutions. They will then have their own APIs and nodes and connectors to the Internet of Value that then suit their clients. And we end up with a web of ledgers, basically. The W3C, Interledger Protocol. This is from 5 years ago, guys. It's been a done deal all the time. Every time I do a video about this and I show too many documents, it seems that YouTube don't like it and they pull it down, but I'm just going to go through this. But search the W3C Community Business Group, right? So we're going to go through this first, and then we're going to have a look at the members of that. We'll start talking about who's partnering with who, right? Seriously, they're all waiting for some Bank of America document to come out to say who they're all partnering with, where it's there in Hyperledger and the W3C. The groups of members and partners are already there. This talks about 25 years ago. The web changed how we shared information. Today, anyone with internet access can access trillions of documents instantly and for free. But the same has not happened for payments. It's still cheaper and faster in many cases to send a bundle of cash via FedEx than to send an international wire. In order to change that, it's important to learn from the experience of the web. What made the web and the internet, for that matter, so powerful was the fact that it allowed systems to offer interoperability while placing minimal requirements on them. Interoperability enabled competition because even smaller providers could reach a global audience, and the technical minimalism of the web platform resulted in tremendous diversity. Payments are a little different, but it doesn't matter. The Interledger Protocol will do the same for payment systems, and it says we hope, but 5 years later I think we can all agree that it is. So what could ILP be used for? It gets extremely interesting, the fact that it was here 5 years ago and people, it's not really out in the open, because ILP will make payments global, instant and free. That alone, like, so you can tell by, like, what do they do? What does everyone do? Corporations, the mainstream, everything. They rinse people and drag it along as fast as long as humanly possible. If we're heading for global, instant and free payments, they're going to try and put it off a little bit and get as much as they can out of the system, i.e. your transfer fees, which is why the likes of MoneyGram, Ripple partners able to send free instant payments are still charging fees. Yeah? They could go right now, but they're just going to rinse it as long as they can. It's quite clear. It's quite clear. But at its core, the web is a giant global graph of hypertext documents connected by hyperlinks. ILP models the world of finance as a giant global graph of ledgers connected by liquidity. The system providing this liquidity are called connectors, and a key feature of ILP is that these connectors do not need to be trusted, meaning anyone can create one. Although the idea of a financial graph of liquidity is not new, this group aims to build it according to the principles of the web without requiring a global stateful system such as the blockchain or central operator. In other words, it is a protocol in the true sense. ILP is designed for international payments, but it can just as easily be used to make a payment on a local network between two ledgers with no internet connection. I'm pretty sure, did I link this in the description? If I didn't, just Google like W3C, a web of ledgers. It's Stephen Thomas. And have a proper read of it all yourself. And it's going into moving into an ILP enabled world where it's very easy to add and can even provide by a third party. Importantly, ledgers do not need to speak to ILP. They can continue to use their current protocols, be it ISO 20022 or Bitcoin. They can even continue to use any transport, be it Swift, TCP or IP. Now, for the currencies, it makes it extremely simple for them to just whack currencies all over the gaff using ISO and using current systems, and then a tiny little update of an API on the back end to lean on ILP as and when needed. But when you talk about Internet of Value of the future, when we talk about bringing gaming into it and new web monetization and the new way we're going to pay bills through micropayments, it gets flipped on its head then, and currency to currency doesn't just wash, it needs to be network to network, which is where your bridge assets come in. Truly your bridge assets come in, and then it becomes who's got the pools, who's got the connectors, who's got the nodes that are creating this web of ledgers. That is the Internet of Value, the web of ledgers of value. When you talk about who's involved in this W3C and the community of business groups creating an Internet of Value. So Bank of England released this, but are they partnered with Ripple? Well, bro, let's not even bother asking who's working and who's getting input and feedback on ILP and the Internet of Value. 433 members on this page alone. I'm pretty sure you will find all the Hyperledger members. We can just, looking at the first little page there, it's not hard to just go down a little bit and see people like Adobe, see people like Airbnb, see people like Alibaba Group, see people like Amazon, people like American Express Company, Printing House for the Blind. We've got Apple, AT&T, Bank of America, Barclays Bank UK, BBVA. It's not hard to spot a few of the big ones, is it? Boeing Company. Yeah. We can keep going. We've got CERN involved in W3C, Internet of Value. We've got Coil Technologies. Where's it? Where does this stop? People saying, oh, well, who's working with who? Who's partnered on it? What they do? Facebook, Ericsson. Ericsson's still going on their own. They got bought out. Thought Sony bought them out. Do you know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. Google, Hitachi, Huawei, Huawei. Come on, guys. I mean, Libra, interesting. I got Libra on it. NEC Corporation. I mean, this is some list of. I mean, come on, like, is there even anyone left on it? Off it, PayPal. Open. I mean, some of these will be massive companies, and we've just grazed over them. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look who it is. The only protocol they created, It's absolutely unbelievable that people question how many people are working on an Internet of Value. I'm sick of people talking like everyone's just gonna come together on all the same ledger, like everyone's gonna I don't know, just hold hands around a fire while they all use the same system. It's not gonna happen. They're all gonna have their own systems. People in their houses are gonna have their own ledgers, mate. You think Bank of England and Bank of America aren't gonna have their own that's just locked off to everyone else? And then you've got the open foyer that's open to everyone else to tap into multiple systems. It has to become interoperable. All the universities, mate. All the universities. Oxford, Michigan, Illinois, Edinburgh. It's Volkswagen AG. We know what Volkswagen are doing with all the mobility as a service stuff. You've got the Walt Disney Company. Some massive firms on here. All part of pushing W3C standards, which is leading the web to its full potential. It's not just the web now, it's a web of ledgers. It's the internet of data, internet of value. This is why I say in the future, everyone's just going to call it the internet. We're splitting it up at the moment. Internet of data, internet of things, internet of value, internet of this, internet of that. It's just going to end up in 10 to 20 years, it's just going to be like the internet. It'll just be seen as the internet. They won't segregate it into different parts. So let's some guy. Hey, yeah, sorry about the lack of volume at the beginning, guys. That was a schoolboy error. That Stacking Zerps, morning. Tyler, good morning. XRP Carolina, good morning. Steve, morning. Fangs, morning. Agora, morning. Let's show that message. Anytime's isolation, nice to chat to like-minded folks. Ooh. Let's go with internet of value, you guys. See competition to RippleNet, but still centered around XRP. Well, the thing is that the people just need to replicate it. So if we move on to the next stage, it's this. It's where this comes from, innit? Where the Everest document that everyone's raving about, September 2017, NTT Data and then Everest and NTT Data Company released this. We jumped on it, we seen it, it was like, yo, this is epic. And then we instantly saw the Ripple one and realised it had come from Ripple anyway. It's all come from Ripple. The only difference is this is once all the Hyperledger Foundation got a grip of it, right? So, excuse me, we're going to highlight a couple of key differences from when Ripple presented it to people like the NTT Data Company and to the W3C and everyone else. This is purely interledger, but leaning on XRPL because it's the only ledger that's able to do it at the moment. It just is. It is what it is, mate. So this document, as we come down, we'll see a lot of extremely similar pages, but that's not on it. So from the beginning, we've got that page to that page. Extremely similar, just presented in a different way. We've gone through this before, but we haven't got that page on this one. That's where the Hyperledger Foundation members put in their stamp on it. So we had NTT Data, IBM, and again we've looked at this before, and you do not BBVA. You know, all those. So a lot of these companies are on that other list, the W3C list as well. So we got people shouting from the rooftops on Twitter and that, asking for partnerships and ignoring clear partnerships. You got Swift on the same page, partnered on the same page with R3, American Express, BBVA, Wells Fargo, BNY Mellon, JP Morgan, CME Group, Accenture, DTCC, IBM, Intel. What more do we need? What more do we need? Sberbank. Do you know what I mean? Like, what more do we need? Why is the people still saying, but a Ripple would partnered with Ripple though? Like, what? Do you need it spoon feeding, man? It's there. And it's not on the Ripple document, so that was clearly after it. Because once that flows now, we have the similar systems, and it's explained in 1980 to 2017. RTGS systems reduce systemic risks by removing the settlement risk from interbank payment flows. It all talk about it's the same. It's the same. To the next page, 2017, what it's like currently. So this is, you've basically got the age of the document right there, early 2017. By the end of the year, it's passed to NTT Data. They come out with this one. You end up on the 2020 to 2025 timeline. It has then got global RTGS appearing. Global RTGS, XRPL. Global RTGS, XRPL. The XRP ledger can be accessed by all banks and liquidity providers, enabling healthy competition between banks and a better service for customers. The Interledger Protocol will enable financial institutions and central banks to make their existing infrastructure and process interoperable with other currencies, asset classes, and the XRP ledger, the global liquidity marketplace, and the global decentralized RTGS system. Modern, distributed, ledger-based global RTGS system and liquidity marketplace. Exactly the same on the original Ripple document. Even has the cross platforms. What it's about is on the right. It really, really is. It clearly shows that the central banks, the local payment systems and the RTGS systems on the left can interoperate with each other through XRP Ledger. And on the right of this picture, it clearly shows that through multiple avenues of nodes and connectors, the ILP and the XRPL, along with all the other interoperable systems, will tap into all the other networks of any corporation or business or household with a ledger of value that wants to trade and exchange value through Interledger Protocol. Now again to the comments. Where was that comment there that when there's a full-scale Internet of Value, the guys see competitors to RippleNet, but still centered around XRP. Not competitors. The only thing is they're going to lean on each other and will do things, but there's certain things they don't need to do. For instance, Vietsvind and Zum. Vietsvind was really, really big on web monetization. He doesn't really need to do anything about it because Coil and Spring and the rest are pushing that. Even Cinnamon and other platforms alike. Would you join one of them or build your own? It's about healthy competition. With regards to the XRP Ledger and being able to tap into any network of value, being able to move any asset with value as long as the smart contract's written in the right way that the ledger can carry, and you've got the right back-end APIs that can interoperate with any marketplace of any network, you have achieved a modern distributed ledger-based global RTGS system. It's setting the standard, guys. It's not to say after 2025 you're not going to see competitors to XRP come up. Make no mistake, that's 100% possible, and I've said before, if anyone sees one, let us know, because I think we'll start buying it. But I'm talking about a legitimate contender that's on the kind of documents as this, that's blatantly there as a global RTGS system, on a document that's gone past all these companies, that's come from Hyperledger members, that are the same members that you can find on the W3C current members list, with a hell of a lot more members to be precise. And people are still constantly asking, where's the partnerships, where's this, where's the proof, where's proof of that, where's proof of this? There's your proof. Been there since 2017. So what I mean, that there's been there since 2015. So 5 years ago, people could have started getting a little bit onto an Internet of Value. We can go to Google and just put Internet of Value, and who comes up? Who's pushing it? It's all it is Ripple, or a Ripple. So even this. Private, public. People will be like, yeah, don't mention Ripple, but look, doesn't mention Ripple, doesn't mention ILP, doesn't mention Interledger or interoperability, doesn't mention it. Like, you go on Hyperledger members, they'll likely be a Hyperledger member, and we know they are. It's absolutely ridiculous just because people was releasing their own documentation and it doesn't say, oh, by the way, we're in bed with Ripple. Anyone wanted to know. It's quite amazing how people think that people expect information to come out. Oh, I'm not open again. I don't know what more people need to see, other than all the documents that have blatantly been about. It says it right there. It's becoming the standard for international money transfers between banks, and I don't care what this does. What's that? 15 seconds. Funds are transferred within 15 seconds. Well, you're not. XRP still beats you, mate. So you're not meeting the standard. There's already a standard being set that that these new payment systems can't even manage. So it's a real time payment system. Yeah. It's a real time payment system at 15 seconds. No, mate, I'll show you a real time payment system. It's called XRPL, and you know it. They know it. We know it. It's just a matter of time. It's all over the documents. Blockchain solutions for capital markets and trade finance emerge. It's got it R3 Corda, Fabric, etc. It's going to become the standard for Hyperledger Foundation projects, and everyone involved in Hyperledger. Can we get a decent Hyperledger members list up? Yeah, it was American. So the Premier, yeah, I've looked at this before, haven't we? I got Bank of England right at the bottom. I just know they're there. I remember the supporting ones. Where are they? Somewhere. Show me. What's that? I mean, some of the logos and that on the face of it, you don't even really know who they are, but it's basically everyone in it. Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, Hyperledger. Now, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston could release a PDF on RTGS, and everyone would be like, yeah, but they partner with Ripple. Bank of England, Accord Project. But look at them all, man. Swift, still on it. Ripple, R3, Samsung, Oracle, and you know, everyone should just when you come on this page, it should just say everyone, mate. When you type in who are the Hyperledger members, it should just come up everyone, mate. Everyone. It's just everyone. Morning, Aaron. It's afternoon for us. What's up, Shane? Online review machine. All's well with me, Rising Green. I hope you're good, mate. I hope you're good. Microsoft. Need to carry on Lenovo. I mean, like some big tech companies, not just money companies. Big tech companies. Mitsubishi going to be on there like somewhere, aren't they? Mitsubishi. Digital assets. CME Group. All. FedEx, China Merchants Bank. Fucking hell, man. Bosch is massive in the Volkswagen documents and the interface and that. Bosch is all over the gaff. I don't know why. BBVA, just members all over the gaff. Of JP Morgan. Oh, there's the big boys back at the top. So I wonder if that's it. Hyperledger would not exist without support of the member organisations listed below. Learn more about how your company or organisation can participate. Oh. And is anything up here off? Swift. Swift is delighted to support this industry-wide effort in advanced distributed ledger technology, cooperation and collaboration. Hallmarks of the Swift Cooperative will be key to ensuring the scalability and adoption of this technology. And I could have read it slower. I thought I was going to move on. There we go. Fujitsu. We've got a Bank of England one. Hands Bank. We are pleased to confirm our participation in the Open Ledger project as we recognise that there is... how's anyone reading that fast, mate? Taking a mick. Currently no industry accepted enterprise rate. Now you've just messed me up. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. 34 markets anyway. Global framework of ecosystem partners. That's all you'll ever hear, and people still asking for where's the partnership. It's just like, well, there's a global partnership being built. It's a global RTGS system through APIs to ILP. Well, how's people missing it? Oh, seriously, like, imagine, like, honestly, the liquidity needed, I've already said, like, could be into the quadrillion. This is why I did that video of XRP's truth. That went, like, I wasn't messing about in that, you know. XRP, was it 24? 24k. You stupid. There. Ripple XRP, what's the actual true value? 24 grand per XRP. If you swallow up the whole value of the world, which is where, like, where we've been through that again. I mean, don't really want to rehash stuff. Total value of the world, not all that stuff. Total value of the world. There's not enough money in the world, mate. There's not enough money in the world, mate. Is it this? What? Yeah, there we go. It's this one. So I'm gonna come to the bottom of this. I was legitimately saying, if we were, go away, you big banners. If we wanted all this value on blockchains, it makes the blockchain, makes the DLT industry as a whole worth 1.2 quadrillion. But then to be able to move any of that value cross-bridged through two networks to something else of value, what does the bridge market cap need to be to match the liquidity of what that needs to move any second, anywhere, any second? At the moment, it feels like maths beyond my head. That maybe if I just got someone explaining it a little simpler. But the low end estimate, the size of the scope of global markets, is 544 trillion and all the way up to 1.2 quadrillion. And that is pre-Internet of Value. That's before everything that comes after it. So if we was to say, oh, it only needs to be 100 trillion, it's like, well, what maths that off the current system? What happens then when Elder Scrolls releases its real-world marketplace and all of a sudden there's billions more value in the market? And then Grand Theft Auto does the same, and Call of Duty does the same, and every other game does the same, from Warcraft to EVE Online. There is trillions to be made, and to be created, not just made, trillions of value to be created within the gaming industry. They're just waiting for the real world marketplaces linked to ILP and with smart contracts, so people can go on the game and create something and attach a smart contract to it and swap it to something else of real world value for ILP. Like I was saying, transfer an Elder Scrolls weapon in Tesco for some milk and eggs. Seriously. That's happening. That's happening. Because seriously, people have got no idea really what's coming. Or it seems that they don't. It seems that they just don't. And you only have to take one look at these documents. I mean, struggling to find a link to this one. I mean, it's in the Telegram under Ripple XRP PDF. That's what it's called in the Telegram group. So if you join the Telegram group, you can find both of these documents in there. I don't know what this one's called online to find it online. But the bit that it's got that this hasn't, this ends after this bit. Just really shows XRP and ILP. Whereas this one, the Ripple one, you see the split. This bit disappears. This bit doesn't come in. The interledger. If you go into all the interledger documents and stuff like that, we can get one up, so I'll show you what I mean. It goes really more to how it's going to work and what it's going to do. We go into ledger number 1. That'll come up. So it just goes from Ripple, the Chicago Payment Symposium from Stephen Thomas, and it just goes like a protocol for connecting ledgers, the W3C, all partners again. what they're trying to solve. So they just try to highlight that the Internet of Things is growing, moving money and that's slow. Talking about like, all just internet working, and when it gets to so these are all like visuals that he's using to relate to the internet. Whereas the internet at first was all about reach, then it was about speed. Now again with blockchain, now with payments, it's about reach at the moment. Then it's going to be about speed. Then it's going to be about cost. And we all know ILP is going to be the fastest, cheapest, most reliable route in the end. So it's going to push cost of payments down. Payment networks are disconnected. How does it work? This bit. So on all these little bits now, connecting two ledgers together, I don't care whose document you're looking at. Don't care. It started with Ripple. And it might be an industry standard to use Bob, Alice and Chloe on all the documents, but it seems a bit suspect to me. That you've got all this kind of stuff on multiple documents from Interledger to all the banks. They've all distributed this kind of document where it's going through the connectors and it's committing and it's talking about how it's transferred the receipts, the senders, how it can't drop a payment, what if it drops a payment and blah blah blah, and the old infrastructure to new styles of infrastructure and the old architecture, the internet architecture, going to the Interledger architecture. This document, that's a nice one. Called a fabric there. Ripple. API. Psh, where you gonna go? Do you know what I mean? But here, X-Current, bank to bank, X-Rapid. Back in the day when the baby was still called X-Rapid. Benefits of adopting Ripple settlement solutions. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And you constantly get, well, is Ripple involved? And it's like, Ripple created ILP, mate. So once it's tap, like, I don't understand. Like, I'm lost for words at times when it comes to it there. After you've looked at that, you just end up lost for words. There's not much that can really be said. This is the one. Was this the one that had like the maturity surge? This is the one that made. This is the one talking about all blockchain use cases are emerging in every industry. Why do people so fixated on banking and they're legitimately forgetting every other industry is also being disrupted by blockchain? Again, partners galore. Partners galore. And people are like, oh, no Ripple on there though. No, but there's a Ripple partner on there. Like, what more do people need? Like, there's a big one coming in a minute with them all on it, isn't there? There it is. There you go. Mate. Hyperledger was. I want to know what that's blocking. Got Interledger and that down there, Cosmo. People want to talk about competition, healthy competition within an internet of value. There it is, mate. There it is. It's scalability and interoperability with Interledger. Private blockchains, Ripple's under. But again, that's the Ripple net and network, not necessarily solely XRPL. I mean, I'm fascinated with how much it can change government, this stuff, you know. Stellar Protocol. Want some healthy position, healthy competition. Highlighting Stellar Protocol there as an intrabank asset. We are creating a new global financial rail and real-time FX platform. This is the one where the lumens is in it. But it will be within people on IBM's network. When you bounce out of that network, you will have the choice to use your XLM from that network and send it to any other network that's using XLM, I suppose. Or you jump into another bridge asset of choice. This is what it comes down to. And can XLM really keep up with XRP, its reliability in the long run? Let's see what else we've got here. I'll open a few more because I want to see some Bob and Sue stuff. I wanted to compare, so show you they're all the same document. Just got someone's different header on it. No. So much. You need to streamline some of this stuff. I don't know what I've got here now. It's just too much. I've got too many documents. I've seen too many documents. Forgot more than I know. Used to have them all. Well, still I've got them all. They're just hard to find, but they're all just the same kind of information presented in a different way. That's interesting, isn't it? Being interesting. Not even read them all thoroughly, properly. How can you? How can you? There's too many. It's not enough time. These are all on the Telegram as far as I'm aware, though. Most of them was on my phone, and I added all what was on my phone. That's the one we've already had open. What are you doing to yourself, Scott? What am I doing? See, what date was this actually? In January 2015, the Federal Reserve issued a call to action and strategies for improving the US payment system, asking stakeholders to come together in pursuit of a better payment system for the future. Call was answered with hundreds of organisations and individuals collaborating on achieving the 5 desired outcomes: speed, security, efficiency, international payments and collaboration. As a result of this success, in September 2017, the Federal Reserve published its next steps in the payments improvement journey. How interesting! How interesting is it that date number 1 is the same as the Weber ledgers emerging in a ledger 2015 when it proper started? Could have done with that thing, you know, couldn't I? Where's that timeline gone? 2015, the Weber ledgers and loads of interledger documents and that coming out in 2015. And then 2017, the Everest timeline documents, September 2017. That's extremely interesting. Little things like that make me dig into little things like that. Make me think, Hang on a minute. I've only got 6 pages here, it's not that much. It's got 10 recommendations for achieving faster payments, focusing on governance and regulation, infrastructure and sustainability and evolution. Since then, the Federal Reserve has initiated a number of efforts that advance the task force recommendations, the Federal Reserve strategy to support faster payments implementation, and the goal of a payment system that is faster, ubiquitous, broadly inclusive, highly secure and efficient, with all service providers enabling ubiquitous receipt for end user customers by 2020. What is it? 2020? And now this comes out. It's all been there. Not like people can't say, oh, it's all a surprise, and all this is a surprise. Not really, if you've been reading, bruh. Established a governance framework formation team charged with designing and establishing a governance framework inclusive of all stakeholders to make decisions to facilitate cross-solution payments, achieve broad adoption and interoperability by in the back, 2020, and support effective evolution of the ecosystem beyond implementation. Effective evolution of the ecosystem. IOV. Oh, it's kicking off, innit? It is kicking off. Start getting excited when you're looking back through this stuff and you think like, yeah, it's going off, mate. We are on the brink of going over, of it turning round, I think, and people actually realising what's actually going on in the background. So this is it now. They speak about it straight away. Excuse me. Support business payments coalition efforts to gather, compile, and publish a list of application programming interfaces. That's what we talk about when we say APIs. That can be used with small to medium-sized businesses accounting software to automate electronic payment initiation. We all know about the migration to the ISO system, new messaging system. It's rolling out in phases all the way up to 2023, 2024. So don't be surprised if it does take that long. Also, don't be too surprised if it happens sooner. Again, they're just plans are usually guidelines, and some stuff takes a little longer than you expected, and some stuff doesn't take quite as long as you expected. That is a nice little find, and seeing that in 2015, 2017 just piques me interest. But then it's all pretty much ready from 2020 onwards. What else do we have below Bank of England then? Financial law amendments. This is on here now, like Savaganda's it. It's 2016 IMF. Virtual currencies and beyond, initial considerations. Staff discussion notes. Talking 42 pages here, guys. I think we need a search on that at first. So that's just going to be ripple effects. For example, no, it's not. I'll let them off. Number 6. Let's see, where's them now then? Where's the references? Where's the references? Is it just a bullet points or is it page numbers, yo? I need to know. This paper discusses the potential benefits and risks posed by VCs and how financial regulators could approach them. The paper begins to explain what VCs are and how they work. There are various approaches to distributed ledgers. Each of advantages and disadvantages. The precise design chosen for a given application will depend on the needs of the users, including mainstream financial institutions, infrastructures, and supervisors. Speed, efficiency, and security, the level of trust in participants, and transparency, including for auditing and supervision, will be key factors in designing a given system that in defining the permissions that it requires. Interesting. Some of the projects in which the financial institutions are investing are based on existing platforms such as Bitcoin, blockchain, Ripple, or Ethereum, but momentum seems to be building for new technologies, many of them based on private blockchains. The following section provides further information. But we all know private blockchains can't fully facilitate an internet of value on their own, can they, people? No. What do they need? They need a bridge protocol. They need a bridge protocol, mate. I mean, this is 4 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Has it got any interoperability, dude? I can't type, me. This document can't This goes pretty deep, really, doesn't it? The origins of central bank powers. Need to take power off them. That's what we need to do, mate. This is what won't change. The report from 2009 on this is like going right into the Triffin's dilemma and everything. This about how we've been calling for a new global reserve, not just a new reserve currency. It needs a brand new system. Do you know what I mean? Temenos 2015. 5 years ago again, a faster payments infrastructure is not an end in itself. It's an opportunity for banks to deliver innovative products and services in both consumer and customer payments. To monetize the opportunity, financial institutions should focus relentlessly on design, customer experience, accessibility, and convenience. Convenience always wins, bruh. Interesting. Why is there a growing demand for real-time payments? Because convenience wins and people are sick of payments taking longer than flights to the places they're sending money. I just can't wait till we get more details on gaming within blockchain and how the smart contract side of it is going to work. On a wind down now, I'm going to show you what I'm doing the rest of the day. Going back to school. Oh shit, I should have kept YouTube open. See some comments. The Bank of England are all over it, opening up the RTGS system. All over it, mate. And they have been for years. They really, really have. The YouTube data API, mate. So learning to make a bot from scratch, it's apparently ain't easy if you don't understand the language and are just copying and pasting shit off people. So time comes now to proper get to grips with stuff. We're going to be looking into a little bit of Node-RED. What we're going to have to do to learn a little bit about APIs. Application interfaces. In fact, we can go straight into like this, and he'll have a link in the video, I think, to the developer page. I hope he will. Yay! But that's not the proper developer page. Google, help me. Google Developer Console. So you got your Google account, you got your YouTube page and all that stuff. See what's going on in here. Now, there's no data because I didn't finish. So we got the library. Search for APIs. It's got credentials, added my credentials. And I need to configure the consent screen. Better hide that in case anyone sees anything and starts using my stuff. Because the APIs, they'll get access. So basically, that's me now creating a Google API attached to my channel. And then I'm going to go in something like Node-RED, like this guy is here. And when you see he's on the same YouTube developer thing, he's going to talk about the API keys and stuff like that, keys to your channel. And then in Node-RED, he's going to set the node up.
Your application, but a great way to debug any stretch. But no comments currently. Subscribe.
So you can see he's activated a bot there that's got the demo. He's got single channel statistics, subscribe account only for 2 channel subscribe account. So he's got like the channel statistics, and it's come through and the stamps. So it's got a timestamp inject. He's had his inject node, inject a timestamp, like boom, we want some data. It's gone to the net, so it's like, right, what API we're tapping into. That API's got the details for YouTube. The HTTP request, I believe, has got his passwords. And then it carries on, and then you get the payload back, and it brings the data from the channel. Once deployed on a server, that's going to give you data every time that timestamp hits whatever repeat you set up. Simple enough, but when it comes to talking about what it does, but when it comes to, let's just find it where it opens.
Well, application, last but not least, there is the API key, which is your, how you authorized or are authorized.
So he goes into it, and he's obviously using his key, and then at one point, it's all empty, and then you're going to have to copy the code he's done. Again, copying code isn't teaching you code. It's teaching that you can get it up and get it done with help, but it's not teaching you how to do the actual code. You're going to copy that and then just put your API key and your channel key, and your API comes from the Google Developers Console once you enable the API itself. So you'll have different YouTube APIs for the YouTube to be able to tap into different data from YouTube. Some might just give you playlists, so you'll be able to set up a bot basically that downloads every video Joe Rogan uploads to a server, or I could download every video I upload to a personal server to make sure that I've got every video I upload from backed up. So whether I upload it from my phone or someone else's PC or whatever, that bot will grab it, download it, and whack it on my server. At the moment, I'm just starting with data bots. If you're not really in for Node-RED, but you've watched some of the Hyperledger stuff and you want to go to school yourself today, no danger, I've got your back. In fact, I can stay straight in there, actually. We'll just go to history. And we'll see some of the mad videos. I've been watching dog training because I'm into that. I'm in with BB 5-star bullies. Check out the Instagram Love for Media. I see one of his French bulldogs made a video for him. Beautiful, beautiful little dog. But basically, I think it was that.
Stream processing based off of that.
No, it wasn't that. It was a different guy. Bastard, don't tell me I'm not going to be able to find that now. I watched it at a similar time as I watched him. It's that one, you muppet.
Okay, this is good. Nice.
I will be doing a little bit on the pause. Clipture. I'll be doing a little bit on the YouTube API and try to build a YouTube API bot on Node-RED, and that will be on the laptop that I'm trying to build that as well, and it will be giving the data onto the laptop as long as the laptop's running and I've deployed it. The laptop in Node-RED will build its own local host. So yeah, we're getting there, guys. It's going to be a long road to learn this stuff, It ain't going to come easy, especially without going out spending money to some coding guys. But this guy's good. He started well. Build and deploy a blockchain web app with Hyperledger Fabric and Hyperledger Composer. So I'm hoping by the end of this 45-minute video, I have a little bit more of a gist of how I can do with what with me downloading Fabric the other day. I can then get Composer as well and start relaunching that Fabric network and actually testnet building on top of it and testing stuff to do and see how it works. 45-minute video. I'm probably going to have to watch it about 55,000 times in the next 2 years. But we just got to be patient with new information, aren't you guys? As long as you're passionate about it, you should be able to learn it. It shouldn't be too much. It's the future, man. Having your own network in your own house, your own personal ledger. And on that note, just before I go, W3C. Personal ledgers. I'll keep searching this every now and then until I see more on it. 2016, no, 2016 PDFs. Now I know it's in there, and that's my video about it. Is that me? Am I actually... Ledger receiving ledger have different currencies. That's where we need a connector that has accounts on both. Yeah, again, me talking through the don't see anyone talking through one of the other documents. Go and get Ripple XRP W3C, the future of payments, ILP, personal ledgers. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to that page there. Personal ledgers. Personal ledgers. So I've been through that document before. I'll get it up again. Future of web payments, it's right there. You can search it relatively easy yourself. It's going to come open. Future of web payments, W3C. Oh, that looks a bit familiar, doesn't it? Oh, that looks a bit familiar. I was waiting for Alice and Bob to pop up now, aren't we? Oh, where's Alice and Bob? Look at that. It's just a different way of doing the stack. So the internet layer, showing the internet stack, and then later shows the building of the interledger stack, interledger layer, ILP. This problem, blah blah blah, yeah, loads of information that bankers and that are going to be interested in. Was Bob and Alice there yet? No Bob and Alice in this one. You gotta keep your eyes out for Bob and Alice, guys, in the documents. I'm telling you, they pop up everywhere. But I just want to get here, we there, the personal ledgers. There's that screen again. Payment required. The code is ready for use. Payment required. The code is reserved for future use. Has anyone seen that code? You know what I mean? It's reserved for future use. Code ready for use. Do you know what I mean? Is that some 403? 402. This code is reserved for future use. This code is reserved for future use. Payment required. We're talking error codes here now. We've all seen the 401 and the 404. It's not found and it's unauthorized and bad request. No one's seen the 402 yet. Payment required. Very, very interesting. But once that code's ready for use, baby, you know it's open. We're running into an internet of value the minute that code's ready for use. But how interesting is that? Even they know it's not. This is where my passion for people building personal ledgers really got really ignited, because it's the fact of the matter is these have put it. These told me to come in. I'm thinking, oh, it's all great, all these ledgers and all that, and then boom, personal ledgers. What else does that mean? I'd also like to point out, we're on the W3.org 2016 talks future payments. Whose company logo is bottom right, bottom left on every page? W3C's. That the W3C's logo, yeah. Yeah. It's not, is it? It's not, is it? That one might be. That one's not. At the end of the day, people can cry all they like about there not being any evidence of partnerships, but they're just refusing to see certain information in certain documents. Absolutely beyond me how people can ignore this. Internet of Value being built, a modern distributed ledger-based RTGS system. Is that what it said? Is that what it said? Close that down a bit, man. Jesus wept. Zoom out. A modern distributed ledger-based global RTGS system and liquidity marketplace. It just sounds epic, doesn't it? It's what it is. It's what's being built. Correspondent banks and liquidity providers. If you're wondering what that branch is there, it's correspondent banks and liquidity providers. Tapping into everything. Blockchains and DLTs, capital markets, trade finance, internet of things, payment platforms, marketplaces, other platforms. Some value to be made there, baby. XRPL is the actual ledger. XRP is the asset. So you track assets through XRP scan, where they're sent, where they go and stuff like that. But if I get that other link, oh, where the fuck's that gone? There's a page where you can see the XRP. Like, I had it up the other week. And you can see the ledger closing every 4 seconds. And it has all the transactions and validations of those 4 seconds. They're all visible. And you can see them all. So that's the difference. The XRPL is the ledger itself. And XRP is the asset that is native to that ledger. It's not the only asset that ledger can move, but it's the native asset to XRPL. Might be worth a cheeky little video about that, really. Yeah, I might do a video going deeper into that, but it'll be stuff we'll be teaching people as well. Like I say, the likes of all yous are going to learn it as I learn it generally, so you're never going to really need to come to one of the workshops that we start running or anything to learn how to build your own server, put a Hyperledger Fabric private network on it, start building on that, add an XRPL wallet, add interoperability to ILP, put your Zoom wallets, your Ledger wallets, everything else attached to it, and build from there. Use will hopefully pick up enough while I'm doing it, and all the like this guy, go and find him. If you want to start building Hyperledger Fabric networks with apps on top of it for your house, your business, whatever, go and watch this guy. I'll be watching him later on, and like I say, I will not be watching that video just once, believe me. I'm going to have a little look at the Google API at first, because Node-RED, I think's, sooner I can get my head around Node-RED and actually making a little bit of bots, it'll improve as well, to build on Hyperledger. It's all just about understanding the language. But Braden Neal's personal ledgers and assets are going to be massive in a decade or so. They really, really are. Alice, Bob and Eve, as Chloe's another mate. But yeah, people don't understand how big it's going to be. You see it coming now, and like I've said, you Hive running your boiler and that for you, and Samsung Smart Things. You'll have a Sky Hub, you'll have a Virgin Media Hub. All these tech companies will come out with their own servers and hubs for the home. Anyone making smart houses will put a server and that in. It's like you're going to have to lean on some people and give two-way access. It's like you can't get the Google API without a bit of two-way access. So when you taking YouTube data, they're going to get a little bit of data off you. They're already getting it. And I'm not setting a bot up to get other people's data. I'm going to set a bot up that's like the number of views, the number of likes, dislikes, how long people watch for, stuff like that. And after a few weeks, I can start using that data to see what the community likes to view, basically. Are they preferring IOV videos, or are they preferring videos about banking? Are they preferring this, that, or that? And give the community what they want. It's about using the data to your advantage in it, and increasing the value that you're producing to your community. it's exciting times, extremely exciting times. For me, I couldn't care less what happens, who builds their own network, and whether Ripple's on the documents or not. I've seen Ripple on enough documents to know that they're right at the front. They're right at the front of the train. They make no mistakes. They're dictating the direction of it because they clearly got influence on every single person's document when it comes to interledger protocol or interoperability or even just the new payment methods. This is all based around Ripple's original documentation. It just is. Like we're highlighting Alice and Bob. They're all over the gaff, mate. It might be an industry standard, but who knows? Massive, Brady. Massive. But yeah, music is godlike. That's basically what it is. It was one's the Asset XRP is on its own is the asset native to the XRP-L, which is the ledger. I will get that up, mate. If we go into the Zoom, the first one that I did, we'll go my channel. Videos. On one of these XRP, but oh, did I not drop the link? I ended up on it on one of these where you can watch a ledger close. If you watch one of all the recent streams, definitely since the Zoom stuff come out, it was definitely since the Zoom about to drop there, it wasn't even out, and then it dropped. So Zoom beta app released. Bank needs XRP, but they don't. XRP on it or something. Not. That's the same video, you muppet. Yeah, it's. Start keeping better track of my videos, man. It's all over the gaff, innit? But it's so much in for me. I need to streamline it from. This is what will be done in the workshop. People just getting streamlined Internet of Value. Not really about all the pushing which currency is going to be the best and all that stuff. At the end of the day, XRP Ledger is in the middle of a global RTGS system being built at the moment, and then anything that can compete with it will also be a choice for healthy competition for YLP. No one's ever denied that on this channel. The only thing we've really pointed out is that XRP is all over everyone's documents. It's all over it. And if it's not, it's the same kind of document where it's Alice, Bob, and the same kind of payment system. And all the dates are matching. That's another one that doesn't really make sense. Everyone's dates are all lining up. They're all moving into the same world. They're all moving to the same direction. It doesn't matter where you look. It's all pointing to the same roads. And it's a road of interoperability through ILP to facilitate an internet of value to swap, exchange, trade, and sell any asset of value anywhere, anytime, for anything to anyone. It's fucking massive. People sitting on the sidelines like we're the ones who are crazy. You talk about crazy. You doing nothing is what's crazy, mate. Damn. Oh, Brady, sprinting in the dark, mate. I've already hit 10 walls, me, lad. That's a perfect analogy what you just gave there. It's like sprinting in the dark. I've hit some walls, me. When I got Ubuntu the other night, it wasn't working because it was doing fast boot and it wouldn't let me do it. And fast boot, I had to shut off some secure boot stuff. And I had to do loads of stuff, and I'm proper getting stressed with it because I got Ubuntu on with a Fire Stick, but I couldn't install it. And if I pulled the Fire Stick out of the laptop, Ubuntu stopped working, and it bounced back to Windows. And I was like, I'm not a developer. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? And then all of a sudden, it just calmed down. I had a doob. Went and had a doob, calmed down, focused, and I sorted it out. But yeah, mate, I hit some walls. I've hit some walls, mate. Will we do my dealer accept XRP for nuggets? You'll have to ask him, mate. He'll have to start paying tax on it, though, lad, because he'll be able to see it going into his wallet. This is the thing for me, like, it interests me how drug dealers and stuff are going to go in the future, how they're going to manage, should we say, in the future. But just keep, for those of us trying to wonder and trying to build our own ledgers and get to grips with it all, you've just got to persevere. You've got to keep watching the content, and not just me. Don't watch someone who doesn't really know what they're doing. I'm guessing half of you are enjoying watching me try and learn and that, and I'm going to be in a position to help others learn at the end. But try and learn with us. Don't try not to sit on the sideline waiting for other people to figure it out and be left a little bit behind. It's we need to get on it and stay on it. The amount of let me just show, like you saw a minute ago when I went down it, like except for the dog training one. So we've got Build a Blockchain, the YouTube API, so yesterday, last night and yesterday afternoon, it was all like YouTube API, the YouTube Data API, the YouTube API getting started, the YouTube API, how to do YouTube API key, how to create YouTube API. You got to find a guy you resonate with. You got to find a guy who's like, you can tell, look, no disrespect to these people, Tech Ruse and Travel Magistry and all that, no disrespect, bruh. And I might come back to your video in a bit and understand it a lot more, but at first it might have been going too fast for me, and I've just, can't learn off that one. And you can see the ones I've been able to watch fully, and then I've just gone, do you know what, it's bedtime, mate. Sprinting in, like you say, sprinting in the dark. I'm like, this is just bedtime, yo. Like, seriously, YouTube API smacked me in the face last night. Felt like I was legitimately back in school. This guy's alright, but he talks you like you already know coding and that, and just I can't handle it at first like that. But we'll just keep watching, and they all tend to do that. They talk to you like you know. Like, he's got one there saying, like, the Node-RED fundamentals, part 1. And it ain't Node-RED fundamental. I'll do Node-RED fundamentals in the end when I'm like, right, this is a node, an injector node, and this is what it does, that's what it does. And we'll get people proper enjoying it. I mean, if you're noticing that there, that shocked me, that. It's not actually rape, it's not duck rape. For anyone wondering why that's on the history, I was on Facebook and I seen a pretty aggressive video and I pressed a link to watch it, and it went to that, duck rape, and then I watched like mallard duck sexual activity, and it is brutal, bruh. Brutal. Like, people actually think they're witnessing a duck rape when they see it. Look at all this, like, this is all still coding. So, not just from yesterday. I'm watching a bit of David Icke and that in between. But look, like, this guy got demonetized. That was a bit of that was bang out of order, like, watching that shit, get it shared about and that. But Hyperledger iRobot, IBM Cloud, Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Composer, building on blockchain, Hyperledger Fabric, Dev Totem stuff, mad stuff. If you want to go and look that up, or what, like iSpy, totems, crazy stuff. And again, Tuesday. So what was we doing Tuesday? We was on Hyperledger Fabric. This is days of looking into stuff and not really knowing what the hell I'm doing still. But when did you ever go to school and at the end of the first week you was an expert? That very rarely happened in any subject, did it? You've got to put the time in, you've got to put the grind in. Hey Brady, I will, mate. I'll be hanging in and I'll get there as fast and as patiently as humanly possible. Yes, librarian from Canada. I like Canada, mate. I've been to Burlington, Ontario, visited Toronto, visited Niagara Falls, beautiful place. Wouldn't mind going Banff when I see Banff on pictures, it's like where Zeus lives. Looks like where if you was to pick somewhere on Earth for Zeus to have his lakeside house on Olympus, it'd be in Banff, Canada. And anyone who don't, right, do you know what? Just for the sake of it, because I don't believe many people are going to do it, but because you won't search it, but do you want to see where Zeus lives? I'll show you where Zeus lives, mate. This is where Zeus lives. Look at that. Oh, my days. Okay, if it's filtered or not, mate. It's fucking beautiful. Wow. Wow. Mate. That's a wallpaper right there. Give me that image. Banff wallpaper right there, mate. You know, I'm having some of that, mate. Look at the town, how beautiful it looks like. Oh my days. Zeus is at the top of the mountains. Like, it's, built a good place here. We did. Built a good place here. We did. The Fairmont Chateau Lake House. The Fairmont Chateau. Beautiful place. Canada. Oh my days. Get me living over there for the end of my days, mate. Don't know when it's going to be, when I start feeling old and weak. But whenever that is, I want to be in Canada at a lake house. And on that note, I think we're done. I'm going to go and get something to eat, because that kind of Coke's not quite doing it. A modern, distributed ledger-based, global RTGS system is what's being built using XRP, XRPL, the ledger, the XRPL ledger decentralized exchange, Interledger protocol, and Interledger protocol connectors, using multiple corridors and pathways through nodes and validators, trusted trust lines, or trustless trust lines, the web of ledgers, the internet of value. It's all that matters long term. This currency bullshit is going to blow over by 2023, but you know what will still be here then? You know what will still be growing then? You know what will have barely got started by then? Internet of value. Don't sleep on the long term. Just because the short term looks decent, don't mean the long term's not going to be absolutely amazing. Interesting times lie ahead. Interesting times do lie ahead. Come on, regulations. Exactly, mate. Just come on and push the ball down the hill, will you? Just push the boulder down the hill and let it start happening. Let it, because it ain't, no one's stopping it then. There's like a big boulder on the top of the hill and they're all holding it up like, don't let it go yet, lad. Don't let it go, because once it goes, everyone's going to fucking know. And there's going to be no stopping it then. No stopping it till it levels out on its own. Yeah. Invest in the internet of value. Invest in yourself. When I say invest in the internet of value, it doesn't just mean invest in XRP. It means go and grab some XRP, go and grab some Litecoin, go and grab some Ethereum, yeah, go and grab some IOTA, go and grab some ADA, go and grab some whatever coin. Invest in the internet of value, diversify your portfolio, and then invest in yourself. What I mean by that is turn hobbies into revenue. Make sure you're doing something you're happy with. Make sure you're going somewhere you want to go. Don't end up stressful once it's all come in. Oh, hey, there's time yet, mate. There's time yet. Do you know, I'm not due my pension for 35 years. So people going to throw that in, should we get that in perspective? I'm 35 years old now. I've got to live my life again till I'm expected to stop working. All the time, all the time I've been on this planet, I've got to do that again until they expect me to stop working and giving me state pension. The people put that into perspective. When they're 40, they've still got 30 years. That when they're 50, they've still got 20 years. Even if you're 60, you've still got 5 to 10 years. Like, it amazes me. Like, everyone says, oh, I can't wait that long for XRP. It's like, well, you wait that long for your pension, bruh. How's it any different? That's greed. Greed coming through. So I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. Them days are gone. Unless you get him right at the beginning of the next bull run. And then you will get some good gains. Or God knows how fast it's going to go. But you're not going to get it when you want it. People need to get patient. And people need to realise that 40 ain't old. It's a new 21, mate. New 21. Exactly how fast it went up to 380. And people don't think it can hit finger. It's absolutely unbelievable. So, mate, people talk about being old and that. Jason Statham is 53. 52. So they're 52. I mean, even if they're pretty recent-ish, 52. Keanu Reeves, 53. Hugh Jackman. 51. Hugh Jackman's 51. And can get like that chilling. Probably a few years, probably 49-ish there, innit? When did he shoot Logan? People need to stop telling me 35, 40 and 50 is getting old. It's because they're not in shape. It's the old mentality of 21 being the golden age, 21 being the golden age. And people realise that comes from the grandparents of the early 1900s, where people was lucky to live till 50 and 60. People were lucky to see 50 and 60. You're dying in your 30s and 40s. And now, people's living to 100, mate. So, 40 is the new 21. Make no mistake. You're only as fit as you get yourself. It's as simple as that. If you let yourself waste away, you will die before 80. Make no mistake. If you get fit and healthy, mind, body, soul, you're making 100. 4 more years, boo. Not too long. Retiring's for mugs, though. People should be earning till they die. Why are people not earning till they die? Because they're imagining work and not earning off hobbies. Retirement, there should be no retirement. You should be still earning off whatever you should be earning off retirement. Be earning more when you retire. Yeah, Keanu Reeves 53, man. Hey, can we appreciate what he's doing with his BJJ, rolling about on the floor, having fights with actually trained martial artists at 53 years old, and he's making it look easy. I need some sugar and sustenance, guys. I'm getting tired. Been a few hours since I ate. But, we don't get old, we get aged. We don't get old, we get aged. It's like whiskey and wine. Just aged. Drinking and smoking, I don't disagree with drinking and smoking in moderation. Yes, don't got nothing against that. Nothing against it in moderation. What I have got, people who smoke moaning about not being able to breathe. Oh, I can't fucking breathe, mate. Fucking struggling to breathe lately, Dave. It's getting bad, mate. It's getting really, really bad, mate. no time for that bullshit. Do you know what I mean? But people who accept the consequences of their actions. So yeah, you can still smoke and get healthier. I've done it myself. I don't run that much at the moment, but I can improve like my lung capacity and lung capabilities with just a few runs, and I don't need to stop smoking. Excuse me, I had my lungs tested the other week, and I'm 36 in June. I've had the lungs of a 30-year-old. So, smoked since I was 12, me. Like I just said, I've been smoking since I was 2. Man, I've been smoking since I was 2. But I sat off now, smoker. Friday. Oh, Brady Neal, the CEO's bailed. The companies are going decentralised. I think that's why. They know. The company's about to be owned by people who want to own them. So, like, once the blockchains are built and the nodes and the validators, it's like Man United. What happens when Man United becomes a blockchain? Is it legitimately, did they end up going to like a consensus-based protocols for buying players and ask the fans if they want a say on who gets bought and stuff like that? Is Apple going to become decentralized and let people run nodes and validators on their network and let anyone who's got an iPhone and got an Apple device start running the Apple network? I've got a feeling the days of the big CEO for the corporation are on the way out, me. It's very, very interesting, innit? Why the CEO's bailing. Have they all just been rinsing us that long that they had the possibility of going jail and all sorts if they didn't just step away and let other people come in and bring change? Yeah, I'll try and tune in, boo. I'm fascinated with why people just walked away from the business. Very, very interesting. But yeah, guys, it has been an absolute pleasure going live again. Thank you for watching. Really, really appreciate it. Do enjoy it. And just remember, when people start talking about partnerships, is he partnered with Ripple though? They partnered with Ripple. Just say, well, it's not about that, mate. It's about the Internet of Value, bridge assets, Interledger Protocol, and the modern distributed ledger-based global RTGS system. If it's not XRP, show me the document that's got the other asset and the other ledger as the global RTGS. Yeah, you know the dance. We love crypto, we love XRP, and we love you. I'm typing thanks for watching, baby. I do appreciate it. It means a world to me. You don't only enjoy the content, but you take a little bit of value as well. So thank you. Give it a share, give it a like, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and I will see you on the next one. Enjoy your bank holiday weekend, guys. Make the most of it. Make the most of your exercise while you're out. Make the most of your family. If your kids are bored, get Animal Planet and Discovery on. Teach them about nature and the world they're being deprived of. Stay safe. Crypto Justin. You too, pal. You too. Peace out, guys. Laters.